Okay, going live. Uh, Here we go. All right, welcome everyone. Our Wednesday meditation for energy and relaxation. So we'll be going over some of the basics and starting easy and slow. And I'll go over some more instruction and then we'll get into the experience. Thank you for joining. So we'll go ahead and start standing up, unless you're already seated and you want to stay seated. Got my ottoman here. A lot of times one of my favorite spots is to have it up against the wall for back support, though most of the time I don't really need it or use it. But just make yourself comfortable. I'm nice and cozy. It's winter here in Phoenix for us Phoenicians. It's cold enough, so I'm just making myself nice and comfy. Also, you might want to have some tissue nearby. You never know if you'll end up coughing, sneezing, or crying. And I've already cleared my nose, but it's also helpful to, blow your nose and such a little bit. I have a little beanie. I like that for a little sensory deprivation when I'm meditating. And then also I have my comfy pillow. And so I'll give you a moment to get situated, make yourself comfortable. You might be seated on a couch or your favorite chair. A lot of times we'll do seated meditation with our feet flat on the floor, but I also do a lot of cross-legged and half lotus meditation positions. And in Qigong, we do quite a bit of standing meditation, and eventually I'll be sharing some of our standing postures and practices, and that in some way can be more challenging because you are standing upright. So even if we do some of those, you can always have a seat instead. And the nice thing about the ottoman is it gives me free range to adjust my legs and to shift my body while I'm seated, so I could actually work my hips and my sit bones. And um, even if we're in some kind of stillness or static posture, you're always free to make an adjustment, to rearrange how you're going about it. And you're also always free to loosen up. So if you feel like you're getting tight, uncomfortable, and becomes distracting, then you're always free to make an adjustment to make yourself most comfortable. And also, as we go on this journey inward, anytime you hit a point where you're really just not comfortable, you've had enough, you've gone far enough, then you can always just kind of come out of it. Touching your hands on your hips or your legs somewhere is very grounding. Putting your feet on the ground, taking a deep breath, and shake it off a little bit. So even in my own practice over the years, quite a few, and I still encounter spaces in my body where my experience are like, whoa, wow, And so sometimes I'll just kind of take a step back and just that's as far as my mind body's comfortable going that day. That's as much as I'm ready for, so I allow that to be my truth. And if we're going through some extended practice and the practice continues, but you've hit a sweet spot and you're like, oh, this is great, I like where I'm at, then just let the rest of it run along, and you're welcome to stay where you're at. So you don't need to go into the next posture or breathing exercise or whatever. You could just stay in that space. So a lot of it, just like in our Tai Chi and Qigong and Kung Fu practices or body practices, like yoga as well, where we're really tuning in to listen to the body and what is being shared through an indicator of experience, through my emotions, through my body sensations, and through how is that affecting my state of mind. So whereas a lot of body movement focused stuff, we're really accessing some light levels of meditation and focus through body movement, and the main access is through the body. So whereas in meditation we're using the mind and the breath, although both of those aspects are involved in the body movement aspects as well. So it's a continuum. It's a range from stillness to dynamic movement and everything in between. And all of that will incorporate some breath awareness, conscious breathing, some breathing technique. And again, with any of those aspects, it's always best to ease into it and listen to, well, how do I feel about that? How is that responding in my system? And always being free to make the adjustment. So I'm used to standing a long time, so you might not be. So if you stayed standing with me, you might be feeling tight or feeling your legs or your body. So go ahead and move around a little bit, open it up a little bit. And then the system, 7 circle system that I came up through with Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and Qigong and meditation, we kind of bookend our practices. So today, our main practice is going to be stillness and breathing, meditative relaxation kind of stuff. So we'll bookend it with some movement before and after, work out the kinks to get the body comfortable and even be energized a little bit. And then as we settle into the stillness, we'll be a little more comfortable. And as we come out, because we've been seated or standing or more static, then we'll move to make sure nothing got stuck. Right, so let's go ahead and just do a little bit of movement. And as always, we begin with adjusting our breath. Take 3 deep cleansing breaths to ready ourselves. We can use it as a way to recover and as a way to gain our center in the midst of what's happening in life. Adjusting breath. Exhale. And use the hands as if gathering the breath up. As if the hands press the breath out of the body and down. Fill the breath from the belly up. As if our lungs are in our abdomen. Feel the fullness and squeeze it out from the chest down into the belly once again. The universal sound of relief. Ah. One more big deep breath. Gather and release. Let it go. And as the breath releases, invite your body to soften. Inviting unnecessary tension. Inviting any pain or sticky points to just open up a little bit, loosen up a little bit. And just feel yourself in your body, in this moment, in this experience. And continue to activate the body a little bit more, hips side to side a few times. Just getting in touch with the body. If I was seated, I could do this seated in a chair or on the edge of my ottoman. And just kind of rock my hips a little bit, be more so my spine, feel the movement in my hips. And make a circle in the air, forward, side, and back. A little bit of movement in the ankles, the hips, pivoting around the lumbar and cervical spine. Reverse the circle. Just taking a few moments to work out the kinks and to get into our body. And bring it to the center. Clasping the hands behind the back, one into the other. Lifting one heel off the ground at a time, as if walking in place, but keeping the balls of the feet and the toes connected to the ground. And you might start really slow and light and easy. And if your body likes that, responds well, you might pick up the pace. Just always take it in the way that feels right to you. Just getting the legs warmed up. Breathe into the belly. And shake it out. Shaking the branches of the tree. Shake a leg. Okay, clap the hands together. Chi up. Clap the hands together briskly. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a seat. You're welcome to do the same. And just relax the breath. Relax the body. Have your palms facing skyward to receive. You might feel like you need more grounding, and you have your palms face down on your knees, your thighs, or your abdomen, or your hips somewhere. You might use your hands, and you might do this during your meditation. There's different schools of thought on how to relax and how to meditate and all that kind of stuff. But really let it be free to you. So even if our intention is to stay somewhat perfectly still, you might find that you need to rub your body or move your body or stand up, take a little break. So give yourself time, take patience, exercise kindness with you and your journey. So I'm going to start with my feet flat on the floor, spine's nice and upright. If you're against the wall or had something for your back or a pillow on your back, your shoulders drop a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put on my little beanie over my eyes. And just take a moment to continue to settle into this body. And one of our favorite centering affirmations. I am here. I am here in this place. I am here in this body. I am here in this heart. I am here with this mind, in this consciousness, this greater awareness. I am that which is aware of the thoughts in my mind, aware of my emotions and feelings, and body sensations. I am that which is aware. And as I begin to tune inward, as I begin to focus the attention of my mind, concentration of my awareness, into feeling my physical body, my feet on the earth, the weight of my hands on my legs, the pressure, the hips and the legs on the seat, lengthening and rising of my spine up to my head, and as if my head continues upward, aware of the breath in my belly, in my lungs. I am here in this moment, this present experience, exactly as I am now, today. And through my power of choice, I could have chosen to be elsewhere. But as I've chosen to do this, to be here now, I honor my choice by devoting the best of what I can to this experience, best of who I am. And that is good enough, even if that's a fidgety Andy or distracted Andy or an emotionally charged Andy or pain in my body. Even if there's stuff like that going on, I only ever do the best I can, and that is what I bring to this experience. And I just give myself permission to take it in the way that's right for me, take it or leave it, to adjust it at any time that feels best to my experience. So I claim this moment, I claim my experience. And as I choose good things for myself and as I participate in them as the best I can, that in turn serves me throughout my day and my life, serves my relationships and my works. So by taking this time for me, it helps other areas of my life. I am here with these intentions, this clarity of mind and purpose, purity of heart and awareness. And in this process and journey, every day and every way, we are growing healthier, stronger, better, and wiser. These days, Andy's pretty good at getting nestled into the moment, comfortable in the body, and fairly clear in mind. It wasn't always so, and it isn't always so. It's like life, meditation happens. I can choose to practice, to relax, to meditate, but I can't force it or make it happen. There's a likelihood of certain outcomes depending on what I do, how I practice. I allow whatever is right for today to be what happens today. I know that as I shift and change and grow over time, my experiences will also reflect that growth, that change. So I'm okay with whatever it is that's happening today. There are various reasons why we would meditate: to relax and let go of stress, to open us to a state of healing and to parasympathetic, long-term thriving response. You might meditate on an issue or a question or something that's happening in our lives. You might go inward to seek an intuitive knowing, an answer that is beyond the pro and cons list. It's beyond self-pressure and external pressures of what should and shouldn't be. You might be meditating or relaxing to energize. If I were tired, that taking a moment to rest consciously would revitalize and rejuvenate and allow me to be present and activated and energized for what I might be up to next. It might be a journey of spiritual growth, self-actualization, whatever our purpose is. We allow whatever step along the journey that's taking place now to be just right for now. Just let the breath drop into the belly, as if your lungs are in your abdomen. Let your belly expand on the inhale and gently contract, compress on the exhale. Tune into the sensations of your hands and your feet, your legs and your arms. Just invite the jaw and the face muscles to relax, to soften. If you were to start feeling any kind of pain or tension or stiffness anywhere, for you to work that out a little bit. Eventually we can work that out through breathing and through almost like plumbing. We can breathe through it, we can send energy through it. But until we have that skill and that awareness, we can use the body itself. We can squeeze our hands and squeeze our feet, tighten up the body and let it go. Squeeze and release helps us identify areas of tension and then develops the ability to voluntarily relax. As I invite my body to soften, muscles to release, allow the structure and strength of my body to support me. And as I feel this relaxed sensation, I find that I'm swaying just a little bit side to side, and that feels pretty nice. So I'm going to allow that to happen. My body wants right now, so I'm listening to that. So often when we think about meditation, we think about nuns and priests and spiritual holy people or hermits away from the world and in a perfect, peaceful state of no mind, emptiness, and openness. Yet the brain never stops thinking. What we can do is through our relaxation and our breathing and our postures, we can invite the mind to settle, to move out of short-term survival stress mode, analytical thinking, cross-referencing, association, worry, stress. We can invite the mind to tune inward, and by breathing into the belly, by feeling the body, we begin to tune in to an alpha state, slowing the cycles of thought per second, allowing the mind's awareness, our attention, to be aware of the outside world, yet receptive to what's happening inside us. On a busy day, we might go all day without really being aware of what's happening in our body, what our body needs. We might be unaware of the emotion that's pulling at us, that's driving us. We might be unaware of the thoughts that we're chewing on, the relentless lists, criticism, the self-talk. So as we begin to draw ourselves away from the outside world, as we have taken respite and sanctuary in this place, in this body at this time, or at least at this moment, it is safe to draw our awareness away from the world and really check in. How is Andy today? How am I today? What's been going on? The more often I check in, the more often I become aware of my breathing. Less I need to be surprised or hit by a block wall or 2x4 at the end of the day or the end of the month when it all finally catches up to me. I can learn to tune in once in a while through the day, a few times a week. Give myself permission to become aware of what's happening inside me, what's going on in my body, what's happening with my breath, my emotions, what's happening with the activity of my mind. Where are my thoughts? Where are my thoughts helpful and supportive? Where are my thoughts from someplace else, from pain, from worry or fear? As I become aware of my thoughts, just allow them to be what they are. And I can begin to lovingly redirect them to something more positive. If I just can't let go what I'm chewing on, I can add on a tiny glimpse of hope or possibility at the end. If my self-talk says that I'm not good enough and I'll never succeed, if that thought or something like it arises, then I can just be aware of it. Breathe into my belly. And invite it to move along. And I could create different thought to take its place. Even though that may feel true, or even if the truth of my present experience is not good, happy, or comfortable, I can include the possibility that things change, that I'm trying my best, I'm doing my best, and that is enough for now. Can include the possibility in that self-talk that I'm working at it, things can change. I might even be able to begin to put in place an image, a thought, a feeling of surprising myself that actually I am good enough, and actually I can and will succeed. I allow for the possibility that what I am trying to do is not really for me, or not at this time. Maybe there is something else, something better or different that would really benefit from my attention, my energy, my works. Instead of needing a clear, empty mind, spaciousness and peace, some of the things that we might seek in relaxation and meditation. Let's start with just letting the thoughts come and go. Allow the feelings to arise and to release, to resolve, to float, to flow. And if the thought or feeling stays with me, that's okay too. Maybe I'm in a place in this moment where I can look at it differently than I once did, or perhaps I'm ready to resolve it, to be with what had been hurtful. Maybe I'm ready to let that go. Before I can let it go, I need to allow myself to feel it. And maybe I'm feeling safe enough in this moment, ready enough in this moment for that to happen. If any moment I encounter something in my body, sensation or feeling or thought that it's just too much, I can just begin to rub my body with my hands. I can open my eyes. I can take some breaths. I can get up and walk around the room. I'm free at any time. And if something arises that's startling, then I can just put my hands on my knees or my thighs or my hips. I can press into my body, press my feet to the earth, and just take a moment to let myself breathe. It's okay. Maybe I've gone far enough, or maybe that was enough to settle my system, and I could continue. It's just a very gentle entry level. It's just to become aware of our body, become aware of the breath in our body. Let the breath fill and empty into the belly. Let the belly expand on the inhale and gently contract on the exhale. It's not as big as our cleansing breath, as our readiness breath, as our recovery breath. It's gentle, slow, and deep. And if I couldn't breathe through my nose, I could breathe like I'm sipping through a straw. Slowing down the inhale all the way into my belly, and slowing the exhale, gently squeezing it out. Allow for various positions of the tongue and the eyes, techniques that we can use, or of the body. Many techniques of breathing. We always want to approach it in a way that feels right to us. So if where I'm at is already enough, and a suggestion for a new thing comes up, just skip it for now. If you find that you're in a sweet spot, you're feeling good, and you're feeling connected and spacious, or whatever that is like for you. You're always free to stay there and not move on to what's happening next. Just taking a moment to tune into the breath, into the belly. One of the main purposes of relaxation and breathing exercises is to restore the natural breath. The natural breath is when our body is in parasympathetic and we're resonating, and our mind is in the alpha state, a state of this ability to be aware of the outer world, but also aware of the inner world. It's a light stage of meditation, entry to sleep. This is the calm. There's nothing after us. We're okay in this moment, and now we allow our body to resume its full capacity to heal, cellular activity, for blood and lymphatic circulation. We allow the heart and the mind and body to become unified, to become coherent. And if these things don't happen right away, it's okay. We're not here to force it. We're here to allow, that we choose to practice, to train, to develop the skill. We cannot determine when the body-mind is ready for that to happen. If we're at any other stage of experience, we just allow ourselves to breathe with it, breathe into the belly, and continue to draw our mind, our attention into this body, this place, this beating of the heart, this cycling of the breath. Just keep drawing our awareness, our attention into this moment as best I can. It might happen 1,000 times that my mind gets distracted, my emotions rise. And in a moment I become aware that that's taking place, and I invite my breath to go deeper into my belly. I invite the muscles of my body to soften and relax, and I allow for easy, gentle swaying or movement. I invite my mind's awareness, my attention, to be in my breath and in my body. And any time that I've had enough or too much, then I'm free to disengage and to ground myself, place my hands on my body and my legs, change my breath, move my body. If I encounter a sweet spot where I'm really just feeling nice and in tune, or I have a pleasant awareness of a solution or intuitive knowing around something that has troubled me in my life. And instead of this awareness causing me worry or pain, I start to feel peaceful with it, accepting of it. I begin to open up to a trust that maybe there's something inside of me that knows a deeper lesson, a greater wisdom, and that this has acted as a step along my journey, step of growth. Maybe I only thought I needed to do it that way. Maybe it was self-imposed, compensation for something I felt was lacking. Maybe it came from my upbringing, social conditioning, that there's this choir of voices in my head, this external pressure to conform, to do as expected. Maybe I find a quiet, strong, resilient place inside of me that knows better. I don't have to disregard everything from the outside world, but I allow myself to really do it my way, without causing harm. I give myself permission to go about things the way that suits me best. Continue to breathe into the belly and feel my body. Feel the sensations of my sit bones, and maybe, feel that there's tension there. So maybe I wiggle my hips a little bit and move my legs, and maybe it's time to rub my legs with the palms of my hands or to ground myself. Just feel into my body. Maybe I brush my arms and stretch my back. Over time, maybe instead of a moment or minutes at a time in one posture, maybe I could sit for hours and never get tired or sore or stiff. Until that happens, I'm free to make the adjustments. And my body wants to go ahead and go cross-legged. That feels good to me right now, so let me try that. And if I go there and that didn't feel good after all, then I'm free to return to where I was. I might even lie down. There are some energy-intensive, breathing-intensive meditations and practices that it's best if we're standing, seated, or upright somehow. We're not engaging in those at the moment. Wherever you are, even if you want to lie down and you're like, I just feel good, I feel relaxed, and I just want to lie down. That's good too. Sometimes we even drift off to sleep because that's a way that the conscious mind and the stress mind can finally relinquish its grip. Sometimes we fall asleep, and that's okay too. I find that I'm just kind of gently swaying back and forth, and that feels good to me right now. Breathing into my belly, restoring my natural breath. Like a baby at rest with all needs met. You'll see the diaphragmatic movement. You'll see the movement in the lungs and the chest where we'd expect the breath to be. We also see a gentle rising and falling of the belly. This is our natural state. It's only those thoughts or those intensities of emotion or experience that pull us out of this self-healing, centered state. And just as my breath, my body can change as a result of something happening, and come the other way. I can use my breath awareness and bring and call my breath deeper into my body as a way to soften the intensity of what's happening. I'm not trying to halt or stop or deny what's real. If I can allow myself to get more calm, peaceful, centered, then I might find the best way to relate to what's happening. I might be open to the best possible solution. The solution is required. I might become more responsive and in a state of harmony with what's occurring rather than being reactive. Just breathing into the belly, feeling into the body. Just aware of the thoughts in the mind, as if the thoughts were water flowing down a river, sitting on the edge of the bank, just watching the water flow. Occasionally there might be driftwood or a boat or something, bird happening in the water, a splash from a fish. And you say, okay, I see. It's all right. Just let that float on by. See what else is flowing along this river. And it's like looking at the sky, looking at clouds, form, shift, and dissipate. Just aware of the thoughts of the mind, aware of the sensations of the body, breath in the belly. And if I happen to slip into a deeper state and feels as though there are no thoughts at all, feels as though that I'm no longer in a body, when my mind and my awareness recedes from the outside world, it goes inward. That's okay too. It's a good place to be. Sometimes in meditation we don't realize we've meditated until afterwards. We feel more relaxed, where time has lapsed, where it felt like we were just kind of floating. Maybe we traveled somewhere in our mind or imagination. Just breathe into the belly and just be in this moment. Breathe any time to make adjustments, to do or not do. Breathing in and out as if the lungs flow in our abdomen. Allow the belly to expand as we inhale, gently compress as we exhale. If all that's feeling pretty good, you might place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, just behind the hard palate. There are other tongue positions as well, and just let it rest naturally flat against the roof of the mouth, the tip pointing towards the teeth. Like you're breathing in and out through the nose, certainly you need to breathe through the mouth like sipping through a straw. You may come in and out of awareness of your breath. Mind might call you elsewhere for a time, and you might get caught up in something you feel or think, or feeling in the body. Just bring ourselves back. Just invite the breath slow, deep into the belly. Concentration in the mind. Focused awareness. It may take time, but I can choose where to direct my mind, my thoughts. I cannot choose my emotions. They're natural, they happen when they need to. Yet I can choose to be still, to be at the eye of the storm. And I can choose the way that I relate to how I feel. I can choose to be still or to move, I can get up, I can lie down. And just go ahead and begin to move your fingers, and move your body a little bit. With my beanie on, I forget there's so much light in this room with my lights on. I just feel like rolling myself forward a little bit, rolling myself back, and just feel free to explore your body a little bit. Maybe rolling your shoulders, or moving your neck around. Just be gentle and listen to the body. Mindful. Moving around a little bit, brushing my legs. It's all kinds of formalized practices and techniques, methods, routines, systems. Right now we're just going to be kind of free floating, just kind of warm up to and sink into just some of the basic practice of just being in the body, aware of the breath, and just aware of the thoughts and feelings. We're not trying to go anywhere expressly at the moment. Let's go ahead and nice. Crack it in the knuckles, that felt good. Put my hands together, that feels good. And then seated cross-legged, maybe bring it to the ground, maybe tap your feet on the ground or rub your hands. Or maybe you still want to stay still. Maybe you're in a sweet spot and you're just going to ride it out for a while. That's good too. Just because we're concluding here doesn't mean that you need to be done. We always invite ourselves to move towards completion, whatever that is, that we allow ourselves, given that we have the time and safe space to do so. We allow ourselves to write it out. And even if we have to pack it up and move on, and something else is calling us, and give ourselves permission that however far we got today is good enough, and that we bring ourselves back to this body, this time, and that I'm fully here and present for what is on the menu for me next. That I trust that when it's time to come back to this kind of practice, or other times of the day, or at the end of the day when the environment at the time is appropriate, I can return and continue that journey, as it is always a journey. It's always going up. You stay seated or lying down if that's where you're at, or if you want to get up and shake it out a little bit, you can do that. Shake a leg, step it in place a little bit. If you want to get a little more vigorous with it, lift the arms up, or just as far as you can. Bend the knees, drop the arms, and pump and swing. As if you're getting ready to jump into the air. Wake the body back up, or maybe you have another method. Maybe you feel like a slow, gentle stretch. You just sit there and stretch for a minute, or stand and stretch and yawn and breathe, and let it go. There are infinite ways that we could move and use our various practices, not just the Qigong and things that you may have studied with me, but all the other stuff and the natural things that your body might want to do. Just go ahead and follow it, feel it. And if you're feeling like you've had enough waking back up, just take one more moment, one more set of adjustment breaths. We use to ready ourselves like priming a pump. We use to adjust ourselves to what's happening in our body, our emotions, our mind, our life experience. We use them as a way to recover or to settle. Adjusting breath. Exhale, gather, and release. Just like the natural breath, but much bigger. Fill from the belly up to the chest. As if the hands were guiding the breath up. Empty from the chest down to the belly. As if the hands were pressing the breath out of the body. As if breathing from the earth and the feet up to the head. As if breathing the sky and the head down and rooting, grounding into the body. Into the feet, into the earth. And relax. Beautiful. We enjoyed your journey. So you can catch more of this on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. You can also register for my classes online on pathhealingarts.com. Again, I'm Andy, and I hope you enjoyed your journey today. The replay will be on YouTube, and then future replays will be on my On Path membership site, the eventuality of that. So There's all kinds of ways to continue on your journey. And if this was just something you tried and it's not for you today, then that's okay too. Maybe there's something else that's better for you. Yeah. There's beautiful ways of going about all this. And for some people, that's a nature walk or looking at the sky, being with friends, listening to music. Maybe you, next time I play some of your favorite gentle music in the background. There's all kinds of things that we could do in using sound and instruments, using the eyes, using visualization, imagination, or actual pictures or colors or environments. So there's all kinds of ways to get a little bit more in our body, to get a little bit more comfortable and relaxed. So sometimes that could be through body movement like yoga and qigong and tai chi and other forms of movement. So all kinds of ways to go about it. And it's really about having enough experience and enough that you can pick and choose what's right for today. What do I need today? Do I need something softer, nourishing, gentle? Am I recovering? Am I strengthening myself again? Or do I feel tip top? I'm really ready to see what I've got. So, and everything in between. So I have all kinds of different things that I can lean on and use in my life throughout my entire day, not just in my formalized practice, but as I'm doing the dishes or driving my car or whatever. There's all kinds of ways to use the breath, use the body to make the most out of being present with what's happening. All right. Till next time, my friends. Tuesday mornings, 8 a.m. Tuesday, Qigong and Tai Chi, gentle body movement and breathing. And Wednesdays, 11, meditation. And Thursdays, 8 a.m. This is all Phoenix time, Kung Fu fitness. So using Kung Fu martial arts as a way to train the body and to cultivate the self. So thank you for being here. Until next time.